wrestling buddies want to be your buddy. What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
You got me mad now.
With so much going on in the world of professional wrestling, it's almost hard for one person to comprehend all of it, but have no fear. That's why your wrestling compadres are here. Welcome to the Slamcast, everybody, right here on AfterBuzz TV, on Podcast One, on the YouTubes. No matter how you're listening or you're watching, we are very proud to be giving you this show.
Let's rage.
Let's rage right now. Let's get to the intros. At Jay Quasto on the Twitter, JQUASTO. At Wrestling Buds, of course. Facebook.com/Wrestling Buds. Hit us up. Give us a 5-star review, rating. Give us one of those words that I can't say. Give us a 5 stars on iTunes. Give us a nice review. I'm all hocked up on Mountain Dew. All right, let's get to the introductions. First, on the phone, all the way from Washington, D.C. He was not at Monday Night Raw, but I imagine he watched it. You can find him on Twitter at TheWalkingDale. He be Dale Rutledge.
I got a puppy.
I got a puppy?
Bad news.
Sup, though?
What's up, though? Yeah, I had some surprise visitors from out of town on Monday, so I didn't get to go to Raw. It was a real bummer.
So you secretly hated them the whole time?
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's really great to see you assholes. What are we going to do?
Yeah, right. Jeez.
You're like a cold fish.
You call him a cold fish, Dale? You should have called him a cold fish.
I didn't, but I will next time.
Well, now you know what to do for next time. Anyways, in studio with us right now, he is the leader of the Curtain Jerks podcast and the 16 Bits podcast. He went to Vegas over the weekend to Freak Show Wrestling. You can find him on Twitter at Curtain Jerks. He is
My boy.
Scotty Narver.
Oh, man, Freak Show was a blast.
So tell me, how different was it compared to, like, you know, because we go to the Sun Valley one. Was it just the venue? Tell us about it.
I have never been to Freak Show Wrestling.
Okay.
This was my first. I went as a guest of Luscious Lonnie Love.
I know him well.
Yeah.
Yes, I know him well.
Well, it's hard to get to know him. He's very temperamental.
I've heard, yeah.
He's one of the greatest managers in the wrestling industry today.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He's always scouting. I mean, how many people? Heyman, is he scouting all the time?
I don't think so.
No, he's just got his one buddy and he's done. Luscious Lonnie Love's always scouting.
And did he have tryouts?
Oh, he did.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and Amazing Jonathan got involved.
Not the
Amazing Jonathan got involved.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was
hilarious.
It was epic. It was very epic. Sin Bodhi got involved. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that happened. I mean, there's an invisible cage match, which if you've never seen an invisible cage match, that is the reason to go right there.
Okay.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And then
Adolf Hitler was there.
Oh, Adolf Hitler is one of my new favorites of all time.
I would imagine.
He is so amazing. He is so amazing.
He really is, yeah.
I love him.
So
I
people
love him
loved
to death.
it.
What did Gadoff have to say about the marriage equality for all 50 states?
He was so mad. I don't think I should directly say what he said,
right?
But I'm paraphrasing. Why would you want to be married when you can have so many little boys to please you?
What the fuck?
Because he had his army with him.
Oh, got it.
It was pretty great.
My bad.
All right. I'm glad it was a good show and everyone loved it. Chuck. Oh, here's another intro. I got so lost in the Adolf Hitler
Sure.
talk. Oh, this next
As one does.
As one does.
He's an eloquent speaker.
Oh, man.
My bad.
This next guy is the pride of TCU, the pride of Houston, Texas. Find him on Twitter at CRice17. He's Chuck Rice.
He's a man.
Sorry, you have to follow.
It's gonna be one of those
the
shows
freak
today,
show talk.
huh?
I apologize.
Oh man, and for the record, I don't think you're hopped up on Mountain Dew today, buddy.
Yeah.
I think you're hopped up on this. You little homebrew.
Yeah, my beer's done. My beer's done. And you have one of the first bottles I've ever given to a human being. So I apologize ahead of time, but I think it's pretty good.
We'll find out tonight.
Good. Yeah, I want a text. I want proof that you drank it.
What proof is it?
And that you did it. I don't know.
the mystery beer
Proof is right in the
continues.
pudding.
That's the problem. Is it's such a scientific thing. I kind of lost track of what the alcohol content is, but I know it tastes good.
Did you make it out of your bathtub?
Exactly. Made it out of my bathtub right next to my meth lab. That's exactly what I did.
This is like that episode of The Simpsons, Johnny's homebrewing.
Exactly. So yeah, there you go.
Boom.
Anyways, we got a huge guest. We're gonna get Ethan Carter III, who quite possibly might be the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. We're getting him on the line. We're gonna talk to him.
You gonna send him a beer?
I'll send him a beer if he wants. I mean, if he wins, I think
If he wins, he
I
deserves
think
some
he's a little
celebratory
more
beer.
classy than beer, okay? I think that dude's drinking champagne and high-class alcohol.
But you don't know how classy dude. That's a home-brewed beer. That's a classy. Look at the bottle. There's no label on it because no label can contain the greatness.
Hops and Quasto? What are you calling it?
I don't know. I haven't thought of the name yet.
People should tweet it in.
All right. Anyways, maybe he'll want my beer. We got him on the line right now, so let's ask him. Here's the grand intro because this man needs one. Our special guest right now. You know, many can argue he's the face, present, and future of Impact Wrestling as he's been undefeated for over 600 days. It all culminates at Bell to Bell as he faces one of the greatest champions of our generation, Kurt Angle, for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Find him on Twitter at Ethan Carter TNA. Ladies and gentlemen, he's EC3. What's up, man?
What's up, boys? I just love that word, culminate. It's my favorite. It's such a good, strong word.
I'll try to use it a few more times in this conversation.
So what's going on? What did I miss that I have to be the deciding factor on?
Oh, well, I brew my own beer, and I just gave Chuck here a nice 22-ounce full bottle of my homebrew, and I said I would maybe send one to you, but Chuck thinks you're above drinking my beer, and so that's
I said you're a classy guy who probably only drinks champagne and the finer things in life.
Well, I mean, beer isn't the national hillbilly drink of choice. I do know that, but you know, if it's home brewed, I think if it's home brewed, it's just pretentious enough that I can have it. So I'd love one.
Mr. Carter, it's an Imperial Pecan IPA. It's delicious. It's an ale. It's not just a beer. This is not Coors Light I'm shoving off on you.
That's very pretentious.
Is this the EC3 of beers?
I think so. It's undefeated as far as I know.
If you drink this beer, will it give you trouble?
Scott, we hate you for that.
Well, seeing as I'm coming off a giant bender, I think another beer would give me some trouble. But after a couple days, I'm going to detoxify my system, and then I would love that beer because I would like to get into some trouble.
And that's the thing, is maybe the beer could be a celebratory beverage for you because you have a big match coming up, and you might be the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
Who's to say, really? I guess we're going to find out. Well, I guess the world finds out tomorrow night on Destination America at hashtag Bell to Bell, hashtag EC3 versus Angle, World Heavyweight title match. It's big. It's culminating time. Time to culminate some stuff.
A lot of culmination. Are you culminating on the Carter Charter right now as we speak?
I'm all about culminating on the Carter Charter.
Oh man, this is great already. I love it. So here's the thing. As our audience knows, it all started back October 20th, 2013. You make your victorious debut against our friend Norv Furnham, and let's be honest, who doesn't love Norv? But here we are now, the biggest moment of your life approaching. How do you feel overall? Like, how you getting ready for this?
It's really surreal. Like I couldn't have drawn a career arc or path to this any greater than we did. I think the match is organic and natural and feels like something special. I know there's in a perfect world, we would have did the Slammiversary thing, and but due to TV schedule happenings, like things were always perfect, but like this match to me feels perfect in its build and in its execution, and it's not every day you get to have your dream match, the one match that made like you thought about having your whole career actually happen and be for something this big. So it's cool, man. It's cool.
Oh yeah, it's cool. I mean, that's a long way to go in 2 years, and not even 2 years. Jesus.
I mean, it's incredible to see the journey you've taken. You know, I just have to ask, how do you mentally prepare for something of that magnitude when it is something that you've been, essentially got into this business dreaming about having this match, and then to get to have it, like, how do you prepare yourself mentally?
Like a couple days out from it, I just, of course, I'm like training my ass off and trying to like just make sure everything's perfect physically with the body and mindset. But then I'm just like, there's nothing else I can do right now that's going to change. Like, this is happening. It's just go out and execute. Was basically really the thing. Like, there's nothing else I can do to prepare any more than I already am, or feel like it's happening. Go do it. Execute. Name of the game. Something like that. If that makes sense. Kind of makes sense.
No, it culminates perfectly for us. Now, you talk about, obviously, preparing and being in shape. Everyone knows you have the physique of a Greek god. There was a while that you were wearing the massive elbow brace. Now, to me, I think that was just you telling the people, like, hey, I'm not really a robot. I'm not just perfect. I'm one of you. Is that true?
No, not at all. My bicep was torn, and I was trying to keep it attached to my body. That's why I wore a giant arm brace.
Okay.
But I tore my bicep because God loves to injure me a couple of times in my career, and that was right before I was doing the thing with Spud, and we were gonna do some hot and heavy culminations in London of our little program. So. I tore my bicep and I had to have surgery on it. That was probably 7-8 weeks out of surgery, but there's no way I wasn't gonna make that match with Spud happen, because that was a pretty pivotal thing for EC3's character, that's where I'm going now and where I'll be and all that jazz. So I had to do it, and we couldn't wait to do it. If we did that match in Orlando, it would not have been nearly the same emotional or the same emotion or consequences attached to it if it didn't take place in London the way we did it. So, that's why the arm brace is there, because my bicep was freaking torn, and I'm a damn trooper.
I was going to say, kudos to you for doing that. I'm glad you brought up Spud. You're the face of TNA, but he has been, he's really come into his own. We sing his praises all the time on the show. We can't say enough good things about him. How fun is it to see his maturation and to be able to work with him? And you really helped raise him to another level, too.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. I would say we helped raise each other to that level. I think with what we did, being paired together initially, and eventually becoming, real best friends and stuff of that nature, and our passion and drive for the industry, for the business, is very similar. He's obscenely talented, really valuable. He's just whatever role they need him in, he can do. He loves it. He's awesome. He's great. I can't say enough good things about him. He's a real modern-day success story, and a true underdog in the sense of the fact that he's even in this business at a level that he's at is just based solely on his heart. And
that's what was so great about your feud. It was the classic evil dominating figure versus the guy everybody wants to root for. And the feud you guys had was perfect. Anyway, go ahead, Chuck.
While we're talking about Spud, you guys also had some very memorable comedic moments, and you've continued to have those type of moments. I'm curious, how much of that is coming from you, because you're obviously a very funny dude, but how much of it is the writing staff and that, or what are they giving you to work with?
The writing staff definitely gives us the scenarios to put ourselves in. When it comes to comedy, I think there's a fine line, especially in wrestling, because if you're too much of it, then you're a comedy guy. But there's a mentality that's the case that I disagree with, and it worked against me in the past, but it's working for me now, because I think it's all about entertainment. So. A character like EC3, even though he's privileged and entitled and cool and groomed to be a top guy, they giving me that opportunity. It's still, if there wasn't any of that entertainment attached to it, I don't think it would be over, so to speak. The character would just be. I've seen it before, where it's too serious. So, as far as the humor, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I had a really long week. I don't know if you guys know.
No, we know how hard you guys worked. It was a long 5 days. I know.
Oh my God! But having said that, the writing staff will put us in the scenarios to do it, and we really just kind of work with each other to what we think is the business of this segment and how to make it entertaining or funny. So, like, it's a real combination. Spud, myself, Dave, writing, you know, those guys. So, like, I'd love to take all the credit, but I won't, because I only play a dick on TV, not in real life. There's a lot of people.
Well, I will give you credit for the I disagree, I'm very good, because I know that was off the cuff, and that was hilarious, and it caught on.
Oh, that's all me. That was all me.
You know, I'm also curious to know, what is it like to get to work with someone like Billy Corgan in wrestling now?
I was telling him yesterday, or not yesterday, but it's Sunday, but like, he's so, like, he's a real rock star, world famous musical savant, and I'm like, why are you like wrestling? What are you doing, man? But it's awesome because he's like, he looks at it from a different perspective. He is super creative, genuine, and intriguing. Like, I really like what he's doing, and I think I'm going to see his fingerprints on the product a lot more going forward, and I like his mentality. I think he gets it completely. He knows we have to build towards the future, and I think I've gotten mine, but like, I think he's a big great helps with a lot of other guys that need to that are finding their way. So.
All right. Hey, Dale, do you have any questions for EC3?
Yeah, I wanted to know, so in your 600 and some odd day run that you've had so far, undefeated, has there been any personal highlights for you that you felt were like just your real crown jewels?
Yeah, you know, like, one thing, two of these long days of victory, of just culminating on everybody, I can't stop culminating on them, winning all the time. Like, there was never really that one like blockbuster barn-burner match because the character didn't need it yet, you know. But a couple of other things that were close to for me were, at least, you know, obviously the match is Spud in London, and that Texas Death Match with Boy Ray could show I can go on the main event level with, you know, the main event angle. And what else? I mean, this match with Kurt Angle is the one, though, for me. Yeah. And some other business he'll shows face on TV in the next coming weeks. But, like, yeah, I mean, those are my three. This Kurt match is my favorite. There's no doubt about it. I'm very happy with it.
And the coolest thing about
I hate everything I do, so trust me, that's like something I do.
Hey, we're all perfectionists. Yeah, and that's the thing about you and Angle, you know, in this modern era of, like, you know, social media, everything always being microwaved and pushed forward, it's so hard to keep a feud going. Yet you and Angle, you've been doing this since late 2013. That's, in my opinion, the longest rivalry we've seen in quite a long time. I mean, that's a hell of a ride that you guys have done, and that speaks to both your chemistry, you know?
Yeah, and like, we did it without there was very little physicality involved. We had one match where he was hurt and did the favor before he would go into surgery. But like, this is our first match too. It's like we've had 2 years of, you know, trading barbs and like building this up, but we've never had a match yet. This is it. That's super rare, especially in like this day and age where, you know, a lot of things get thrown to the wind real fast, like organically built, and it's going to culminate.
We'll see. That's what I want to know. I mean, is this going to be the end of the feud, or are we going to get to see something like this drawn out a bit? Because I'm sure that this can't be over in one match.
Well, I don't want to give anything away, but I can tell you that I'm sure there will be a rematch, but it's not going to be as soon as you think. So.
Right.
All right. And another thing that maybe you can't, maybe you don't know the answer to this, but, you know, Jeff Jarrett shows up, kind of unannounced, surprised the hell out of everybody, gets a match, wins King of the Mountain. Of course, he's got Global Force Wrestling. What the hell is going on?
Dude, I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. But, you know, when I first started with TNA, Jarrett was here. He was instant help and to me, like, piecing together things about the character. And one thing I can say is that having him, I'm glad I got to see him again. A, to thank him, and then B, if he's going to be around, or I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. He has a title now. That's the King of the Mountain title. I haven't beat Jeff Jarrett yet. He's going to go in the Hall of Fame. Sorry, that's a spoiler. Sorry. Whoops. Internet. Like, I haven't beat him yet. But maybe that's the guy I might have to look, because somebody not willing to see him and, kicking out of the stroke and stuff like that. But it's good to have him there, and it's good because we need guys that are better to help young guys learn, which is the most important thing to me.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe there's going to be some kind of crossover. I mean, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Jarrett's an ornery guy. He's got that guitar, and he's always looking to smash it over somebody's head.
That's true.
You're going to have ice in the back of your head.
Oh, God. So sick of getting hit in the head.
And Karen's a little Jezebel, that one. No comment? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not touching that.
Dale, anything else for EC3?
No, I think that's it on my side.
Okay. Just wanted to holler at you in DC, see if you had anything else for him.
Hey, listen. I just want to tell you, EC3, you got to tell Mr. America Happy 4th of July for us, all right?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. America?
Or whatever that is.
Oh, yeah, the USA guy.
Yeah. USA guy, make sure you wish him a happy 4th of July for me.
Mr. America was Hulk Hogan's gimmick. You got mixed up with
I got it mixed up. USA guy. Make sure USA guy gets wished a happy 4th of July from us.
Oh, boy.
I'll let him know, and then, yeah. There's an idea I wanted to tell you guys, but it's not mine, and then I don't want it to get out, but it involves the name Mr. America in a way. It was Tommy Dreamer came up with it, but I can't say it. Okay, Mr. Destination America.
There you go. On the bright side, at least Chuck got you confused with the legend, so that's kind of a nice compliment in a way, right?
Hey, you know what? USA guy was the man.
That's awesome.
The potential celebration that could happen from winning the championship against Kurt Angle, what would you do differently than everybody else? Who are you calling out? Who are you inviting to the party? What are you going to have? Will the Himalayan therapist be there?
Barbershop quartet for sure.
Well, yeah, not going to spoil it, but there was you threw a name out earlier that is definitely going to be involved in some sort of victory celebration, but I'm not going to.
Did we say Oprah?
We'll let that one.
Mr. America.
We'll let that one play out.
All right.
As far as the party though, I had my fun bash with the Barbershop Quintet. I think if I were to become victorious, it's business now, and make sure people have their attention would be the big thing. So it's not going to be a party.
Okay.
Because the hard work's just starting.
We cannot wait to find out. And congratulations again. I mean, we had you on the show towards the beginning of this whole winning streak, and here we are all these months later, and you're about to hit that culmination. Go ahead, Chuck.
Look, for me, as a friend of yours and a fan of yours, I cannot wait for Wednesday night, because since the first conversation, one of our very first conversations that I had with EC3 several years ago, he told me one of his dream opponents was Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
So to know that is happening tomorrow night, or when you're listening to this tonight,
yeah,
I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hashtag Carter culmination.
Boom.
Ooh, I like that.
All right, we'll
there
get
it is. We're going to get it trending.
We're going to do EC3 for champ, Carter culmination, any other hashtags, and we'll do them for you.
Well, we got to get the hashtag Bell to Bell on there, because that'll be a big hashtag for the show. And,
don't worry.
Probably, I don't know if we're doing hashtag EC3 versus Angle or hashtag Angle versus EC3, but look for that on the Impact thing, and then we'll
hashtag Carter culmination needs to be a t-shirt.
Yeah, we'll be all over it.
That's a shirt.
If there's victory coming, I feel like that's a Carter culmination all right there.
I love it.
So
I love running jokes. I'm so glad we have a culmination.
Well, hey, we can't thank you enough for taking the time out to be on the show, and we've wanted to have you back on for quite some time. So regardless of what happens in Bell to Bell, congratulations, because, man, you are just living life right now, and we're all very, very proud, and you're doing fantastic, and so congratulations.
And thank you so much for your time today, man.
Yeah, well, boys, I appreciate it, and we'll do this again. I'm going to go stuff my fat face full of sushi, and sleep until tomorrow.
All right, well, enjoy that Crunchyroll. Find him at Ethan Carter TNA. He is EC3. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Later, boys.
All right.
Man, I really am genuinely excited for this match.
Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
I mean, it's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers in Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Going against, honestly, one of the more humble people that I've met in this business. That
not his character, of course.
Not his character, but as a person, I had the privilege of, SummerSlam when it was out here. I don't know how many years ago. One of the first, of the many that was in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. That was when EC3, if you guys will remember, it was Derek Bateman and the bastard child that NXT has grown into something awesome now. But before it was cool.
FCW.
Well, it was that little
the reality
the reality version where they had him doing the
competition thing.
He was part of that, and he never got a fair shake, and just talented guy, funny, used to come up with all these crazy character ideas. Always wanted to see him make it.
Well, it just goes to show, Dale, sometimes when things don't work out, you just got to keep at it and you prove people wrong. That's exactly what he's done.
I mean, that's the weird thing to think about is that if that hadn't gone south there, we probably, who knows what kind of run he would have had inside WWE if they had kept him. But, odds are there's just so many people there that he would have to wade through to get to the top. But to go to TNA and just have this streak and have it all, culminate, it seems, I don't know, it's way better than anything that could have happened over there. And then who knows what the future holds. It could be something. But either way, he's had a great proving ground and shown what he's made of.
Yeah. And TNA's creative. They take a lot of hits, justifiably so. But look, whoever came up with this character, it's a great character.
Yeah, they make stars. Whenever there's the complaint of they don't make guys, they don't make stars. They do. They do all the time. You just got to pay attention to it. And he's one of these guys. Like,
Rockstar
as
Spud
he talked
too.
about him and Spud, that whole last year of every time they were on TV together was some of the best TV wrestling segments. Them going after Willow and hunting for Willow out in the cabin and stuff. Like, that stuff's hilarious. Him pumping up Spud for all of his matches, and then to lead to the actual falling out between them. It's been such a great story journey that those two guys made the best of every single time.
It's one of my favorite feuds, without a doubt.
Well, for all the, for every bit of crap the TNA gets, and I know sometimes it can be really hard to watch. Look, there's no doubt about that. And sometimes you want to bang your head against the wall.
That can be said for any company, because we have not had the greatest Raws recently.
That's what I was going to say. Look, if you watched Impact from this past week, and then their Slammiversary pay-per-view, and then you watched Raw this week, Impact was far better. The opening of Raw, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen in wrestling in a long time.
Are you mad because you didn't get
Brand new Apple Watches!
Come on, man. Are you jealous?
No, not at all.
Hold on. Are you trying to tell me you're jealous because you're not going to? Come on, dude.
I'm a little jealous about that, but
Wait, guys, I think this is a good moment for you to all open your special presents that I got you.
Oh, you mean the presents that you told me to bring in?
Even me?
Yeah. It's for everybody. It's just a little, you guys have been working really hard. It's been really rough with me being across the country, but you're holding it down and representing, having great episodes.
Yeah.
And so, I got Johnny to just, get a little something as a memento for you guys. So
here's the problem, Dale. I wish you wouldn't have sent them in these see-through grocery bags because we saw them.
Wait, they're in grocery bags? You got Apple Watches in grocery bags?
No, you got us apples, Dale.
Brand new Apple Watches!
But I'm watching it. I'm watching my Apple.
Watching the Apple.
So I got an Apple Watch. It's brand new.
That's what I meant.
Hey, now all of you can watch the Apple too.
What a great gift.
It's organic.
Thanks for the thanks for the gimmick, Dale.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Damn it.
There it is.
But before we get on to how...
Hey, on the bright side, dietary fiber for all.
All right. Before we get on to how terrible the opening of Raw was, I don't want to blaze over how...
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
I'm glad
now time
someone
for Chuck's
did.
kvetching.
Come on, dude. Kane went to...
Hawaii!
Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, let's back up and talk about this Slammiversary pay-per-view for a minute. Mm-hmm. Because
there were some technical issues, and EY got mad, but whatever.
Put the technical difficulties aside and EY's little tantrum on Twitter aside, which justifiable, not knocking him for it.
No, I never
Maybe
would.
Better choice of words to use, but whatever. Passion, I appreciate that.
Yep.
That pay-per-view was good.
Yeah, matches where everyone brought it. Dude.
Austin Aries match?
Damn.
I've been waiting for you to say something all day.
We're saying it right now.
Amazing.
I was going to mention James Storm and Magnus damn near taking each other's heads off first.
Honorable mention as well, Jesse Goddard's versus Robbie E.
Real good.
Really good. A simple story, great match. Like, of him trying to go for that powerbomb and weakening Robbie E. Like, I was really impressed by that. Where some of them was like, oh, this will be all right. It was really good. Mm-hmm. Everybody brought it.
And for as convoluted as the King of the Mountain match was, it was a good match.
I'll be honest,
I still don't understand the rules on King of the Mountain.
I don't think even the participants do.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Dale, because I'm watching. I'm like, there's a penalty box?
Yeah, it's always been confusing.
The penalty box is weird.
Yeah, it was hard to understand. But overall thoughts on King of the Mountain.
Such a cool moment seeing a reunion of Team Canada.
That was cool. Agreed. But overall, Dale, what are your thoughts on the whole? So Jarrett shows up out of nowhere. Obviously, we've been hearing all these things about Global Force Wrestling. We don't know if it's smoke and mirrors. We don't know how legit the whole thing is. And then he shows up on Impact. Then he wins King of the Mountain and wins the title of King of the Mountain. Just like we asked EC3, what the hell do you think's going on?
Just like EC3, I have no idea. Mm-hmm. I don't know even what I wish for, because really you want to see Global Force, get out there and establish themselves. I mean, it's always been this thing that we keep hearing about, but I personally haven't seen much of it. I know Thea was involved for some house shows and things like that, but I'm still relatively confused about Global Force. And then to throw TNA into the mix, it certainly has all of the TNA fans a little worried that, that this is going to be a combined, like a takeover kind of thing, or I'd rather just see it be something where they can feature each other.
The rumor is that there's going to be like an invasion angle or something, and, it's really a convoluted mess right now, because you have reports that Magnus's contract is up, that James Storm opted out of his contract, all these things. You have Magnus talking about how he's going to be going to Global Force Wrestling on Twitter, on social media, yet he's also scheduled to be at the next set of TNA tapings. Reports are that, not to spoil anything too much, apparently Jeff wasn't at the tapings after Slammiversary, that. So it's really like, it's anybody's guess, but you have to imagine, and there's some sort of cohesive working unit right now, because they wouldn't let Jarrett come back, wouldn't let him cut a promo like that, wouldn't let him wear the Global Force Wrestling shirt on their show, and wouldn't be inducting him into their Hall of Fame unless A, they were trying to play nice because they know that they're going to need his help.
You sure?
B, that there is a partnership in the works.
You sure?
Or C, TNA knows they might be losing their TV deal or something, and they need to latch on with some. There's any possible scenarios. I really hope it doesn't result in, TNA going out of business or anything like that, because their product is good right now.
You mentioned, Magnus, James Storm, low-key apparently has left. Everyone knows the rumors of Austin Aries at this point. We've seen Aries on Twitter, what he's been saying. We don't know the full story, but we know wherever he ends up, it's going to be in a good situation. And then there's also rumors of Mickie James, Gunner. There's rumors of Taryn Terrell and Awesome Kong. They have denied they're leaving. Dale, have you heard anything more?
No, I know Kong and Taryn Terrell both tweeted that they were going to be there for a while. Kong had a funny tweet about it, actually, but that's... I don't know, but is that their way of are they going to Global Force, quote unquote? Like, is it that kind of
Well,
thing.
I'll tell you this much: watching Bob Ryder, who's an executive over at TNA, freak out about the reports on Twitter was hilarious.
Oh, was he going nuts on Twitter?
He was. Look, I love Bob. He's a good guy.
I don't know him.
Nice guy, always very helpful. Nothing.
My boy.
No disrespect to Bob. It was just hilarious. You know, like I can't. You know, like getting upset that a wrestling dirt sheet was reporting something and like calling them. He's like, I can't believe that these people are reporting this. It's totally false. Like, what do you expect? It's a dirt sheet. Come on.
Yeah, that's what
like the fact that he was getting so upset about it was just funny.
My bad.
I mean, the one good thing that might come out of this is if Global Force did take over TNA in some capacity, like if it was a rebranding, is that you don't have to tell a girl or any significant other anymore that I'm watching TNA and then see that look on their face. So you can instead say GFW and she's like, oh, what's that?
I like that. Do you think...
Is that your problem, Scott, telling your girlfriend about it? That's the problem.
That's the problem of trying to attain a girlfriend.
Do you think this is going to be like a miniature version of, you know, remember the ECW and WCW invasion in WWE where it started like gangbusters and then it kind of just wasn't necessarily managed the right way? Do you think this is going to be kind of other version of that where GFW kind of just barges in and people jump ship? Is that like, I don't know, maybe?
I think it's weird because GFW isn't solidified in any way.
That's
like if you were to ask anybody, well, who's on the roster other than Jarrett, you go, I don't know.
No.
I don't know who they got. Everybody except for WWE people? I don't know. I think what was talked about a couple weeks on the show ago was, that maybe ROH guys will cross over into the other show to get cross promotion, but maybe that's why that won't happen. I don't think
ROH wants to do anything with Dixie.
Right, that's what I mean. So that's not going to happen. TV people would like that to happen because it's cross-promotional show stuff, but if it's instead another show that doesn't exist, Global Force, it's that brand's coming over and it's excitement because it's something else coming onto their television show.
What do you think, Chuck? If I'm Ring of Honor, I just got on Destination America. I just put on an episode this week with Nakamura and Roderick Strong and the Bullet Club versus Rocky Romero, Trent Beretta, and Okada for. I mean, this is Ring of Honor.
If I'm Ring of Honor, I'm not touching TNA with a 10-foot pole.
You stay away, right?
I stay away. I see that most of my roster is people that left TNA. They left TNA for a reason. You know, like, look, TNA is putting on good shows. They're doing a lot of right. But as long as Dixie is in charge of that company, like, I'm sorry, you know. And this is, and you know, like, we just talked to EC3. You know what I mean? Like,
that's his aunt. Lay off, buddy.
Listen.
True.
Listen, we could talk about how great a match is. They can put on good matches. They can even put on compelling storylines. But until, you know, like, sometimes you need a change. And as long as Dixie's in charge, and I get it, it's her company, it's all that stuff, you're just always going to have a sour taste in people's mouths because you've given us such a long history.
And it's just her behavior. And I think, Dale, we're saying, I think what the people are saying largely, it's just her behavior over the years has been really peculiar, to say the least.
She just
Yeah, I mean, Chuck comes with, you know, I mean, he used to work at TNA and is friends with a lot of guys there, so he knows a lot of the backstage stuff. Now, if you're just watching it as a TV show, I don't think you really know that kind of thing or have that impression about it, because I honestly think that Impact has been pretty strong.
Heck yeah.
I don't know, since the Beatdown Club and all these kind of different angles that are going on, I really have enjoyed the product, but
Agreed.
It is something that can kind of taint your opinion because you keep, you know, hearing so many negative things about the person who is spearheading the whole project.
Look, I agree with what you're saying 100%, that my perspective is probably very different. Well, not probably, it is very different than, you know, the average wrestling fan watching TNA. 100%. But at the same time, a lot of fans that were fans of stuff turned away because of Dixie.
Right.
And won't come back because of Dixie.
Regardless,
and when
you're right.
When they make a big deal of the fact that she's back on TV now, and then you have her as the president of a company tweeting at fans, you know, like one fan was like, tweeted something out, I'm really glad I ordered, you know, the TNA pay-per-view or watched it on a site and didn't pay for it. I would have demanded a refund because I guess there were a lot of production problems with the second half.
There were some audio issues.
Whatever the issues were, the fact that she tweeted back to, she's like, thanks for stealing our show. You know, like, yeah, maybe you have that opinion, but it's just like so lowbrow. You know,
do it.
You don't look like the leader of a company. I don't think Vince McMahon would ever be caught tweeting something like that.
No.
He only tweets stuff to promote his company in a positive, you know, PR strategic strategic way.
Yeah.
She just, and I'm sorry, like, that's just really how I feel about it.
No, you're right. That's the thing, is because putting out that tweet will only attract more negative attention,
and it just makes her look lowbrow.
And the one thing that bothers me is, you talk about how some people, because of Dixie, won't come back, and that's what upsets me. Is like we keep it positive on this show. We support everybody, and when something's good, we say it's good. And Impact has been really good. The problem has been. I hear these other people on podcasts, they're guests on podcasts or whatever, and they're like, yeah, I don't even watch TNA because I just assume it's like, no, then don't go on a freaking wrestling podcast if you're not watching it. Don't go trashing a product that you're not watching because you don't see how much work these people are putting in. Someone talking about Taryn Terrell, her title reign, in my opinion, where they add in the dollhouse and her turning heel and becoming this character, this is by far the best Divas title reign we've seen in quite some time. It blows any other company out of the water right now.
TNA has some of, in my opinion, some of the more compelling characters in WWE right now. Okay?
Yep.
I think Eric Young is one of the best characters out there.
Sure.
We just had EC3 on here. He's, in my opinion, if you were going to start a wrestling company tomorrow and you had a chance to build it around him, you do it.
And speaking of females, what character is better than Taryn Terrell right now, honestly?
I mean,
who else has even? She's multi-dimensional, in my opinion. Who can you say is?
We're getting to see people like MVP, who we always knew had the potential to be a bigger star than he was in WWE, but was never given the opportunity. You see him here in TNA, it's awesome. Yeah. He's doing a great job with it. But the problem is, like you're saying, a lot of fans are saying they won't watch it just because they're assuming, and that's because for so long, so many years, people would tune in, TNA would go good for a little bit, Dixie would make a decision that ultimately was bad for business, and you turn a bunch of your fans away. And then they'd keep making these unsmart decisions that were alienating their original fans, trying to be something that they're not. And TNA needs to focus on being TNA, and they need to, if Jeff Jarrett's getting back involved in the product, I know a lot of stuff happened with Jeff and that company on personal levels, with people on their roster, whatever. If they're able to move past that in a business way and they can get him back involved in some capacity, even if on air and all this stuff he's saying, I'm not involved, he's saying this is his way to go out on his way, I don't buy all that. I feel there is an invasion angle coming, and hopefully it has some sort of thing with him having a new partnership with them that can help put TNA in a positive direction.
What do you think, Dale?
I agree with that. I mean, I think that their perception would be nice to change. And I know they do need to get away from that TNA name. I mean, girlfriend or not, I agree with Narver for just it being a ridiculous thing to call your product. They've branded it Impact for the show, but it just isn't enough. Maybe if they can transition into Global Force Wrestling in some sort of grander scale, it would probably be better for them overall.
I agree. I mean, the thing is, Dixie was on JR's podcast a few months ago, and he even asked her about it, and she just kind of went around the answer. It was like, yeah, it's kind of too late, so we're not really going to change it. And you could even tell JR was befuddled. He was professional about it, but he was just like, what the hell?
No, it's not too late. It's never too late.
And I think
WWF was WWF forever. They're WWE, and most people get it right now.
And the Pandas are happy about it.
They're very happy about it.
And here's the thing, Dixie has talents and has a role that she can play. It doesn't need to be one that's on TV, and in a lot of ways it doesn't need to be anything that has to do with creative.
Yeah. With that said, though,
it's hard to take the vanity out of someone, though. Like, you can see things crumbling around you, but if you have that desire to be on camera or to be at the creative meetings or whatever it is that her passion is about this whole scenario, it's going to be hard to get her out of it.
I mean, and at the same time, look, on the flip side of it, it is her company.
Yeah.
It is her family's money. I mean, maybe a part of me is just like, damn, I wished I had that kind of money so I could do it better myself. But really, at least she's doing it, I guess.
I'm on a roll, baby.
That is true. With that said, Slammiversary, some great matches, Scotty. I mean, Austin Aries, Davey Richards, that the culmination of the best of 5 is coming up at Bell to Bell. But what an amazing match. Well, yeah, right? That was a really funny.
That was good.
But James Storm and Magnus destroy each other. Jarrett wings King of the Mountain. And then, of course, there was the confusion. EC3 and Angle are now going to face each other on Bell to Bell on Destination America.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame in one aspect that if you saved up your money and you wanted to watch it there and you didn't get it, but you get it on TV instead, that's probably a network move. That's probably Destination America saying, this is what we want. And they bowed to it, and whatever, it is what it is. You still got an awesome show on Slammiversary, right? And now you got to watch Impact for it. Yeah. So,
and you know what? I think there's another match that's happening on that card that a lot of people haven't been talking about that has me very excited, and that's the BDC versus
the Rising.
And I'm just excited for that one. I think Hernandez back in TNA. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think everything MVP does is great.
I want to see Eli Drake.
Yes, very excited for Eli Drake. I think watch for him because I just after he was in here with us a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And he's obviously a friend of ours. Made me go back and watch some of his old stuff. I have a feeling that guy can be a really big player in TNA in the coming.
And that's not an insult. That's just a fact of life, as he likes to say.
Yeah, it's all about going and watching and supporting the stuff that you like. If there is an act, there is a wrestler, there are angles that everyone will like on every single wrestling show, without a doubt. You just got to take the time, watch it, and find out. And it's like Raw. When you're watching for 3 hours, at some point you're going to go, I don't like this. Sure. Well, then you get past it and you go to the next thing. Give Impact TNA a chance, and you'll like some guys. A lot of the guys we mentioned, and others that you may be drawn to as well, give it a shot. Give Bell to Bell a shot. If you haven't watched in a long time, give that show a chance.
The matches are going to be amazing. You already mentioned 2 of them, EC3, Angle, The Rising, BDC, and then of course the Wolves versus Dirty Heels.
Mm-hmm. And I think Austin Aries has a match that was taped for it too, correct? Maybe, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
He alluded to it, but I think the one at Slammiversary was his final match, really. That's how they played it because this one's already taped.
We've all seen his Twitter, and his Twitter's blown up, so congratulations to him wherever he will end up. And
I'm pulling for NXT, man.
Maybe we'll see him on the show very soon. I don't know, but we will see. Any final thoughts on Impact before we move on, Dale?
No, I agree. I think give Bell to Bell a chance. It really is a free pay-per-view. The way that they're staffing the show for this week, you should just tune in tonight and check it out if you haven't in a while, because all backstage BS aside, I think it's going to be an awesome show.
Agreed.
Johnny?
Yeah.
Can we please talk about NXT?
I was about to jump into that.
Hell yeah.
Unless you want to talk about...
No, I don't want to. I'm in a good mood at the moment. I want to keep that going.
Fine, take away. I'm sorry, Dale. Dale was nice enough to give us
brand new Apple Watches.
Buddy, jump into NXT, make it happen. Yeah, look, Scott's watching.
You better be watching them apples right now.
Sure is, player. Listen, I want to talk, Dale. I want to talk to you specifically right now.
Oh boy.
Dale.
All right, I guess
ears open, Dale.
Did you get to watch this?
Hello?
Yes, you're there, buddy.
Dale, did you get to watch NXT this week?
Yeah.
Now, a couple weeks ago, you said that Owens was not giving you promos that were good, and that he wasn't speaking.
That was like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, I know,
we both said that. We both said that.
This week, he killed it on the mic. Not only was he awesome,
he almost killed the mic, but yeah,
he messed up.
Interesting.
And then he caught himself and made it funny still.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That takes skill. That's more than cutting a promo. That's like being light on your feet, and I really appreciate it.
I popped so hard for that.
Knowing how to yes and.
That was great. And then his commentary on NXT, where he was just riding Rich and riding Byron, was hilarious.
Poor Rich, really. Rich was miserable during the whole experience.
I meant to text him afterwards and be like, A, one of two things. A, you did a great job selling that, or B, you were really pissed and it showed. But I didn't know what to say, so I left it alone.
Well, I love how uncomfortable he makes Byron Saxton.
It was, so one, just had to talk about it. And two, I love this tag team.
I thought you were going to say Dana Brooke. Damn it. I love Dana Brooke.
No. I love the Hype Bros.
The Hype Bros.
Mojo makes he's exciting and funny to watch.
Yeah, he is. Him and Ryder combo.
I wasn't really a huge Mojo fan before, but there's something about this chemistry between the two of them that does really work for me. And to give
it gives Ryder something.
Say what?
It gives Zack Ryder something.
Yeah.
Exactly, to give Ryder anything to do at this point. I mean, he's just wasting away on the roster there, so I'm glad to see him on TV more.
Very true. And Finn Balor versus Rhino. Of course, Owens is on commentary. Balor wins, KO attacks Joe with the save. But now this week...
Do we get a tag team match right there?
Well, no, but the 4th of July, we got Balor versus Owens, do we not?
Yeah.
Well, we got an NXT before that.
Oh, yeah, that's right, we do.
And I'm thinking we're probably going to get Rhino and Owens versus Balor and Joe.
We might.
What do you guys, I mean, what's your money on for that? I mean, it's obviously an odd time, especially for you guys. I guess you could just stay up late and watch it, but I mean, it's odd programming. But outside of that, do you think that, you know, Balor has a good chance of taking that belt off of him, or what do you think?
Well, number one, my money is on me struggling to stay awake like on Christmas night.
Well,
I was like, I'm going to see Santa. And then I just doze off.
And you fall asleep in a bowl of milk.
you know, as I was watching Raw this morning, I was thinking about that, and it just doesn't make sense for them to have Owens lose that match right there.
That's the problem. It would really be, I feel like, as much as I want Balor to win it, especially in his, like, country of rising or whatever, I don't know how you want to describe it. It's not his home country, but that's where he made a name for himself. I would love for that just to be in the books, but I mean, do you take the momentum off of Owens like that going into
A match with
title match for Battleground?
The only way you could do it is if, you know, you have something like, in my opinion at least, where Cena comes out and distracts him, costs him the match, you know, that kind of thing. But then I feel like that really takes away from Finn Balor winning. And I also feel like that, you know, it sucks because it's the perfect opportunity to move Owens over to the main roster, have a smooth transition into the U.S. title, but I feel like it would be such a momentum killer.
I say, why take it off Owens at this point? Like, why transition him to the other show when this brings so much attention to both? Owens being the guy fighting Cena and beating him, and then saying he's the champ of NXT, I think at this time puts so many more eyes on NXT, so why not ride it out for a while? I don't see the reason of it having to stop. Yes, it's a great moment for this to happen, but it brings that much more attention on it, especially the way that I keep seeing this lineup is this is headlining that show.
But this is already, Owens is already super over. I mean, yeah, it helps, but if Balor is the guy that can beat him right now, then you have a chance to put Balor in a similar position where he's doing this transitional show situation.
Let's face it.
I don't know. I mean, they're trying to elevate everybody, and I feel like Owens is already there. I mean, he's feuding with the top guy and is coming off super strong. I don't know. Do you take this moment to elevate somebody else, or do you just continue this on and keep it, you know, maybe a little stagnant? I don't know.
So you're in support of the title change in Japan?
I think so. You got to make this event significant. But although now they're just kind of saying it's the beast in the East. Like, I don't know what Brock Lesnar is doing there.
He's fighting Kofi.
But he's having a match, apparently.
He's wrestling Kofi.
First time ever.
I'm on a roll.
It's Kofi? That's who he's wrestling?
Yeah.
It's an odd lineup of matches.
I think what initially happened was I think they just happened to have, you know, like this tour of, you know, going on over there, and they're like, hey, let's make it something special. It's 4th of July weekend in America. We can make it this thing. We can promote the network. Why not?
Why not?
I think they're going to, you know, make something special of it. I mean, the fact that it's going to be a mixed card like that already is pretty cool. The fact that it's kind of like a pay-per-view at this point because we don't have to pay for anything on the network if you already subscribe.
Right.
So, you know, it's essentially another pay-per-view in a short span of time, and I could see them doing something to make it significant.
Well, let's see here. We have, to me, it looks like there's enough matches here that is making it a full-on pay-per-view. We got Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens for the title. Kofi versus Brock, which I think is going to be fun.
It's going to be a great match.
Yeah, that's going to be super weird. I'm excited.
Hopefully E and Xavier are there. We don't know. We got Neville versus Chris Jericho. Whew. That's going to be good. John Cena, Dolph Ziggler versus King Barrett and Kane.
That's a really weird match.
Yeah. Paige versus Naomi versus Nikki Bella Divas Championship. Here's the weirdest one. Cesaro versus Diego.
What the fuck?
Because it was supposed to be a tag thing, but Tyson Kidd got hurt. So then that fell through.
Why is that on there?
And then Lucha Dragons versus The New Day. But yeah, Cesaro versus Diego.
That's the worst possible match ever.
Well, Well, I mean,
take that, Cesaro.
Cesaro's gonna.
Especially around the heels of Cesaro and Cena having another amazing match on Raw this
Let's
week.
talk about that. Match of the year candidate right there, boy.
That was great. And Owens on commentary just added to it.
Yep.
Anybody who still is hating on Cena at this point, I don't know what they're watching.
Yeah, I mean, we just talked about him and Owens having a match of the year candidate. So, I mean, it's like, he brings it, man. And that match with Cesaro, good God almighty. That was, that European uppercut, he almost hit the ceiling.
You know, I think they made a very astute point on Raw commentary.
Whoa, I think you made a triple word score right there, Chuck. Good job.
Nice.
Okay, anyway, I really enjoyed how there was a little banter about how Cena kind of has made Owens elevate his game, and Owens was like, no, I've made Cena elevate his game, which I think is very true.
Yeah.
So, you know, to your point, Dale.
Yeah.
And by the way, best wishes to Tyson Kidd. I don't know if you happen to see the picture of the back of his neck.
Yeah.
It looks rough. He had a fusion. I don't know what levels the fusion was at, but it's pretty much covering the good chunk of his neck. So that's.
I spoke to him via text this week. He's doing okay, he said.
God, I hope so.
Spirits are a little down, but he said he's gonna get back to it.
And he's got full feeling and all that stuff walking around.
Yeah.
Good.
From what I mean, it was a very brief conversation, just see how you were doing. He said he was doing okay.
Send him a cat, everybody.
Then a successful surgery.
Send him a cat.
Send him a kitty. Yeah, best wishes to him though, because that's gonna be a long recovery, and it's just bad luck.
So does that mean we're gonna see Natty off TV for a long time too? You think?
I think get her back in the damn Divas division. They need it. Don't they?
I mean, I can understand if she's taking time off to help him and be with him.
Oh, sure.
His wife, but. I mean,
she loves the business, so I think she'll take some time off to be there for him for the early stages of recuperation, but I think we'll see Natty back over there sooner than later.
I would like her to be with her husband for the majority of the time. It's not a slight of, no, I don't want her on TV. Like, be with your husband. Mm-hmm. You know, go in these instances where we've had these injuries happen and, you know, it's Edge or it's Stone Cold and you feel like no one else is around to help them out during that period of time. Like, go be with your loved ones, you know?
At least for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. This is gonna sound really insensitive when I say it, you know, and it's not meant to be. And I agree that for a period of time, yes, but at the same time, she's under a contract, and the business, you know, doesn't stop for, you know what I mean. And that's not to say that she shouldn't spend some time with him, but
no, she will. And honestly, with these kind of surgeries, as serious as it is, within a month, he's gonna be up and moving. It's not gonna be ready for any physical contact, but he's gonna be up and living his life and going to rehab. So it's not like she's gonna. The first couple weeks are always hard, but after that, she'll be able to pretty much.
I like that you're worried about her contract.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do want to see her on TV. I'm a big fan of hers. I think if she's ever given the opportunity to really show what she can do, truly, she could be one of the top divas, and it would make me much more interested in the Divas division.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Divas division, we, I think, have seen our first physical contact from Lana.
You're like a cold fish.
Attacking Summer Rae. I don't know what the hell's happening here. My guess is it's going to lead to Summer Rae versus Lana with Rusev and Ziggler in the corners.
That was just an awkward encounter, man.
Yeah, Dale?
Was that Russian?
It's weird. That was Russian. Our fans like, I love Lana with Rusev. I don't know how I feel lately.
Yeah.
They're gonna end up back together.
Ziggler and Lana were dressed like a damn wedding cake yesterday.
Listen, at the end of this, my gut says Lana ends back up with Rusev.
I just like Rusev.
They just work so well together, and there's something about this. I mean, I love Ziggler, but I don't understand what his character is currently. There's this weird, like, it seems like he's out of character or something. Like, I can't really put my finger on what I don't like about this scenario, but there's something mega forced about it.
Agreed. I just like Rusev, period. I mean, this sad Rusev is just, I like him even more. This guy is so good. He can do it all.
On SmackDown a few weeks ago, he called Lana a stupid woman cow.
Agreed.
Which we laughed at forever, and there's a soundbite for you if you go find that stupid woman cow thing.
You're like a cold fist.
I know, I don't have the woman cat one right now.
Go find it and see that segment. Like, that won us over because that was him. Yeah, it's like you're saying. I love this character of Rusev, this broken man who keeps showing up to every show, because he has a contract, Chuck. So he's there, he can't wrestle, and he's just pining over his lost love with a known philanderer.
Supposedly.
And throws a tantrum almost every time. I think it was last week when he fell off his crutches just in the middle of being upset and throwing a tantrum. It's awesome. It's great TV.
Yeah. And to close out the WWE talk as they're steaming towards Battleground, the Authority destroys Roman Reigns. Like, honestly, I thought Raw was over. And 5 minutes later, they're still beating him up. There was like 9 pedigrees. There was a Sister Abigail.
Anyone but you.
It was probably one of Bray Wyatt's most poignant promos we've seen in quite some time. It actually made a lot of sense. And they're really, Roman Reigns is getting destroyed. Threw him through a table? Jesus.
It was a very Attitude Era ending to Raw. I was surprised by it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, they're really going to get people behind Roman, I think.
Do you think it was a smart strategy on their part to instantly at the beginning of the show, though, tell us Brock Lesnar is not here? He's on his way to, I feel like instantly that made me just like, ugh.
But a lot of times, though, they'll say that, and then the dude shows up, so that's...
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't tell you, and you keep thinking he's going to show up, is that any better?
Right.
It might have helped me get through that first segment a little bit better.
And your testicles.
So yeah.
You really like that opening segment, Johnny?
I thought it was funny, man. I really did. It was some way.
I thought it was a character. I mean, like a thing that we haven't really seen from Rollins before. I mean, yeah, it went on a little long, but overall, I thought it was worth it just to see this weird, like. It's like a nervous version of Rollins where, like, some people get the giggles. He just got the gifties or something. You know what I mean? Like, he just was like, what can I do to make this better? I don't know. It was
shocking,
very
guys.
interesting.
Dale and I disagree on something again.
That's what makes great podcasting, disagreement.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't forget the Cadillac CTS. Pretty sweet ride.
I think Chuck just wants a trip to Hawaii.
I'd rather have that car, but I did. That was also one of the most product placement endorsed opening segments of Raw. You had Terminator.
Oh, geez.
You had Apple.
Yeah, it did.
You had Mercedes.
I still don't.
Chuck, they have contracts that they have to fulfill.
Yeah, and now you brought it onto this show.
I did.
Yeah, look at all the product placement.
I still do.
Hey, maybe Mercedes will give me a free car too.
Brand new Apple Watches.
There you go, Scotty. Check out that Apple. Take a look. All right, moving on. We got to. Wow, we're running short on time here. All right, let's get to Lucha Underground and Ring of Honor. Lucha Underground. There was a lot of good stuff here, Dale. Pentagon Jr. calling out Vampiro, and I really like the look on Vampiro's face for like the next 10 minutes after that. You can see the demon slowly like pouring out of his brain once again, which was really cool.
Is there anybody cooler than Pentagon Jr. right now, though? That dude is just. I don't know. He's awesome. There's something about him that I don't think there's a lot of guys in wrestling right now that can pull off what Pentagon Jr. pulls off.
That look is so badass.
Yeah.
It's you see Bray Wyatt and you go, oh, he's creepy and cool and weird, but Pentagon Jr. is also scary. Mm-hmm. It's threatening.
Yeah, I would definitely be frightened of him.
And he'll break anyone's arm. Mm-hmm. We also had Aerostar winning one of the Aztec medals against Willie Mack, the Mac, Brian Cage, and Marty the Moth. Hard. Okay. But great match.
Do we know where they're going with these medallions yet?
I gotta believe it's not going to culminate until season 2, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe at the end of season 1.
They're all going to turn into Power Rangers.
Ooh. I'm down with that.
I want a Megazord.
Well, you're going to have to win a match, Dale.
Stop letting friends come over and interrupt you from going to matches.
How about this little segment? So did Mil Muertes and Katarina, did they kill Havoc, Ivelisse, and Angelico? I don't know what they did. Did they kill them? I don't know.
Yeah, they're dead.
They're not dead, but something weird has gone on there. I don't know. Basically, Ivelisse has to deal with his broken leg all damn season. I feel so bad for her.
She looked good, though. She looks good, and she
good, though.
And her character, man, she's really like that segment was cool. But then Katarina's like, "Hey, death is coming," and the next thing you know, these.
So you're hoping for like a Jon Snow type thing in Game of Thrones, where somehow they get brought back, you know?
They have to. There's no way they're dead. They can't be.
See, that's what all the Game of Thrones fans are saying too.
Yes, they do.
Those minions really got him. I don't know.
Oh, the little yellow guys? They're adorable.
Not those kind of minions.
I'm sorry, I thought we were talking movies and TV.
These are the black and white guys that showed up, and they're really scary. And I think they killed the Evilise.
No, I think your tint is off. They're yellow. They're really tiny, and they say little cute things.
Okay.
Hey, yo.
Your tint is off.
And then lastly, Mil Muertes defeats Drago. He moves on to Ultimo Lucha. So that means Ultimo Lucha, we're approaching the end of this season. We're getting there. And what a match that was.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Overall thoughts, Dale?
I mean, I can't wait to see the season finale. This has been an awesome, like we said 100 times before, to have these story arcs where they can write to an actual ending, not just and then they can take a little break and they can leave us wanting more. I'm excited for this for the wrestling world.
Agreed. Somehow Chuck has just lost his mind and almost bear hugged Scott Narver. We don't know why.
Scott just cracked me up.
Yeah, I think Chuck's cologne is a little.
Yeah, that's what that smell is.
I'm on a roll, baby.
All right, yeah, Lucha Underground, though, great television every single week. And speaking of great TV, Ring of Honor, this was probably the strongest match, the strongest episode we've seen since they moved to Destination America. Shinsuke Nakamura defeats Roderick Strong. Damn, that match was ridiculous. I mean, talk about false finishes and... whew.
Yeah, those guys...
Strong versus strong style? Come on now.
Yeah, I don't know how they wrestle more matches every week.
I don't either.
I don't know how they do this. Sometimes it's almost too brutal because it's like, I want you guys to be able to keep wrestling.
I don't know how Nakamura walks every day. I don't know.
I think he's a cyborg.
Yeah, and Roddy Strong, he's been just getting so good over the years, and now he's one of the top guys, and he's earned it.
I think you could say that about every match on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, though.
Yeah.
How is AJ Styles still going? How is half their roster still going?
Speaking of AJ Styles, the main event, Dale, we had Okada, Beretta, and Rocky Romero. Who's going to be, I believe, at the Championship Wrestling from Hollywood Red Carpet Rumble July 12th. You should go. Those three took on AJ Styles and the Young Bucks. The match ended with the Young Bucks doing their finisher and alternating on Beretta. Double super kick into a Styles clash. Trent Beretta took all that, and that's how the match ended. It was like frightening to watch.
Let's talk about Trent Beretta for a second.
Yes.
I think he is another person that has the same makings of an EC3 caliber type of wrestler, in the sense that he was in WWE, very underutilized, and is now getting a chance to show what he can really do.
He's all over the place, yeah.
I'm a big fan of that guy.
I saw a different version of this, kind of broken into two different matches when I was in Japan. And, I mean, all these guys are just so super talented. But Okada, I don't know, I just popped so hard for Okada. I think he's, like, the coolest. He could be like a Japanese jazz lounge singer or something, and I would still... There's something about him that he's just, like, a really cool dude. His
facial expressions throughout a match are something to see.
Yeah.
To say the least. But yeah, I mean,
okay. I wonder what the agreement is between Ring of Honor and New Japan. Like, I'm glad. I mean, I wouldn't think that we'd be getting New Japan on our TVs here in America.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of a cool. I hope they continue this on for years and years, just so we can see all these guys work together.
I just think it's just a level of respect. You know, Ring of Honor has such a high level of respect from people around the world, and New Japan, the respect is the same, and I just feel like maybe it was just an old school handshake, like, hey, let's do business together and let's put on some amazing matches, and they've done just that, and I think it's been beneficial for everyone involved, you know?
Yeah, not just now when TV contracts come into it, sometimes it can get weird, but I'm glad to see that this is continuing forward with these two awesome companies.
And this episode, it was great to see and hear our best friend Nigel McGuinness throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Dale, speaking of New Japan, I think I've recruited someone else to our cause for January.
Uh-oh.
Is it Scott Narver?
It is Scott Narver.
Said begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Dale rolling his eyes at home. Oh, this gone ever.
So I bought him an Apple
That's
Watch.
so funny that you mentioned Scott's going because I just got busy for that weekend.
Oh, snap.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I get to put my legs out on the plane.
And you got that Apple Watch now.
I'm gonna hold on to it the whole time.
Well, with that said, I think we covered pretty much everything. I think, Dale, you prepared a This Week in Wrestling for us, if I recall correctly.
Ooh.
Yep, gonna finish on a little This Week in Wrestling. It's a very interesting, a lot of things happened this week, and check out our Facebook page for some more items to read and kind of refresh yourself on some of the history.
Dig it.
And then we'll do the culmination of the show, right, Johnny?
We will do the culmination of the show. Dale, it always feels good to hit this music for This Week in Wrestling. So with that said, here is This Week in Wrestling.
And now This Week in Wrestling with Dale Rutledge. Ren and Sean. He's so awesome. Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of This Week in Wrestling.
Hello.
How's it going, Anson?
Oh, I'm well. How are you?
You ready to talk some history?
Yes.
Okay, now you're ready.
All right, yes, I'm ready now.
Well, let's start June 28th, 1998. The WWE presents the King of the Ring tournament. You know, that King of the Ring tournament.
That one?
And you know the one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, your first big pay-per-view.
That was my very first viewing of a big pay-per-view. I remember this one because it is the King of the Ring that...
I'm betting that Ken Shamrock beat The Rock to win the King of the Ring tournament.
Well, you're not wrong.
No.
That's not necessarily why I remember, though.
Oh, well, why do you remember it?
Kane defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin in a first blood match to win his first WWE title. That's why.
Yeah, he did. but was that all?
There was some other match on the card. I forget. Mankind was in it.
Oh, yeah, that was that match where The Undertaker threw him off the top of the cage.
Broken in half.
Boggle!
Yeah, that was somehow my first pay-per-view, and I was addicted to watching pay-per-views at your house pretty much from that point on.
Lucky SOB.
Thanks for all the pizza, by the way.
No problem.
What else happened?
Oh, well, June 29th in 1986, the AWA announces that world champion Stan Hansen is refusing to wrestle Nick Bockwinkel. So he's stripped of the title, and Bockwinkel is named the champion.
I wouldn't wrestle anyone named Bockwinkel myself.
Well, the real story here, though, is that Hansen was booked to wrestle in Japan with the AWA title on the line, and when he was told to drop before leaving Japan, he refused because he knew that the promoter in Japan was advertising that he was going to be defending the AWA title. So, he was going to give him those matches. Hansen went to Japan with the title, and at this point, the AWA had said, well, we'll just make a new title, give it to Bockwinkel, it doesn't matter. So anyhow, he defends the AWA title in Japan, but wins All Japan's title, the NWA's international title, from Jumbo Tsuruta. I was sure we'll call it that.
We'll just call him Jumbo.
Anyhow, after this, because he has the international title, he just gets rid of the AWA title, runs it over with his truck, destroys it, mangles it, and then very nicely mails the pieces back to Vern Gagne. It's said, though, that Bockwinkel took the pieces and had the title restored, but maybe it sort of looked like that hardcore title that Mick Foley had.
Oh yeah,
a little duct tape on it.
I mean,
it'd be fine.
Bockwinkel does what he wants to do.
Yes, he does.
Bockwinkel and Jumbo all in the same story.
Saruta. I'm going to call it Saruta.
Yeah, Jumbo. 1998, back to that King of the Ring story that we were just talking about. On the Raw after the King of the Ring pay-per-view, Stone Cold Steve Austin wins back his world title from Kane, ending Kane's very long, almost 24-hour reign, beginning Austin's second reign.
Oh, yeah? Well, you know who else won the title? 1 year later in 1999, the Hardy Boys defeated the Acolytes for the tag team titles in North Carolina. That was the first of 5 reigns for them.
Wow. Oh, you know who else won a title?
Tell me.
June 30th, 2003, Gail Kim debuts on Raw, winning a battle royal for the WWE Women's title, outlasting champion Jazz, Ivory, Molly Holly, Jacqueline, Trish Stratus, and Victoria.
You know, that's a really good story. I want to stop you there.
Okay, why?
Because I want to tell you who had a better title reign. CM Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank contract against Edge after he had been destroyed by Batista.
Oh, yeah.
And had his first title reign.
Circa 2008, eh?
Hey, no.
Well, you know who else didn't get a title reign, actually?
Who didn't get a title reign?
2010, Daniel Bryan. He issued a following statement on his WWE release. He said, the WWE is very serious about adhering to their PG guidelines. This is, again, 2010. And apparently, my actions during the NXT attack on John Cena, namely choking announcer Justin Roberts with his tie and spitting in Cena's face, crossed the boundaries of what is considered PG. Perhaps the choking was too violent, or perhaps the spit was too demeaning. I apologized for both immediately following the incident, but I would be a hypocrite if I apologized for putting everything I have into the attack. I would much rather have gone too far than to come up too short. If you want to see the entire statement that Daniel Bryan had, because it's a pretty good read.
Oh, yeah.
It's just way too long to go over. Go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling Compadres. We can see the entire statement from Daniel Bryan. It's very interesting. I mean, it's also, you got to think, like, where Daniel Bryan was in 2010. I mean, he was still trying to get a leg up.
Well, this was that big Nexus attack, right, where they tore up the ring.
Yeah, the whole ring, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really good television, but I guess they thought he in particular went
maybe just a little too far.
No, happens to the best of us, I suppose.
Well, on July 1st in 1991, Ric Flair signed the contract with the WWE.
Oh yeah,
that was huge because Ric Flair had been a mainstay in NWA and WCW for such a long time. The problem came though where they wanted to strip him of the title, have him give it to either Lex Luger or Barry Windham, who were going to wrestle for the title of the Bash, Great American Bash.
Fair enough.
But he said, no. If you want me to give you this title, you have to give me back my $25,000 security deposit.
Is that real, though? They had to put down a $25,000 deposit for winning a belt.
It's an expensive belt. I mean, that thing was gold and had jewels encrusted.
I could see that, but, like, that's just such a doozy.
Well, in any case, he said, we're going to keep the $25,000. You can just have the belt.
He sold it on eBay for triple that price, probably.
But the confusing thing, at least for me, when I was a kid and I was watching this, was Flair showed up in the WWE with the belt, and I was like, how is this possible?
Yeah, it was kind of confusing. I'm surprised that WWE would let him show up with that belt. Like, I guess it was just one of those jabs kind of thing. They were all,
we have your title.
We have your title, dummies. Well, people who jumped ship, I think, very successfully as well. 1999 can't beat Chris Jericho.
Oh, yeah.
Signs with the WWE. His WCW contract wouldn't allow him to wrestle for the WWE for almost a month, so that new Millennium Countdown that everybody is a big fan of. That's like the donkey version of the countdown. That clock began and Y2J debuted on WWE TV August 9th. That was, that's everybody's favorite debut, I suppose, but that is what
he interrupted The Rock. He was giving a promo in the ring, and
The Rock almost buried him, but Jericho exchanged some pretty good blows with The Rock, and I think kind of cemented what he was going to become or continue to be in the WWE.
Yeah. So July 3rd, 2006, Rob Van Dam and Sabu are arrested in West Virginia.
Uh-oh.
RVD was pulled for speeding, but then was found to have marijuana and Vicodin in the car.
To the shock of nobody.
RVD was the WWE and the ECW double champion at the time.
Of all the times to get pulled over.
Yeah. And then he dropped those titles within the next 48 hours.
You know what's also not PG? Marijuana and Vicodin. Just guessing. Good old RVD. you know, but the interesting thing about that is, for so many other people, I feel like that could have been the end of their tenure at WWE.
Right.
I mean, they continue to ask him to come back. I mean, even to this day, I mean, he's just not really, you know, he's working on a lot of other projects and stuff, but if the WWE had their way, he'd probably be doing another 3-month jaunt
for sure,
or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously they're like, we get it.
Yeah, the crowds miss him for sure.
Yeah. So good on you, RVD. July 4th, Independence Day memory here. Brutus Beefcake didn't have the best 4th of July. That particular one in 1990, he was involved in a parasailing accident in which he suffered a serious facial trauma, which is not a spa service, I discovered. He received 8 steel plates, 40 screws, and more than 100 staples during the surgery. He would return to the ring, though, 3 years later. Where do you fit 8 steel plates in your face?
I want to know how you get on a plane after that.
Oh man!
When you go through metal detectors and stuff, I mean, you're like,
you gotta go through some special line.
Like, sir, can you step back through that real quick?
Can we scan your face?
Yeah, let me, you know, they wand you and like, sir,
what is under your eyeball?
Yeah. So, Independence Day memories, at least, you know, someone had a better one. That man was Lex Luger. The body slam heard around the WWE. Yokozuna offers an open challenge for anyone to try and body slam him while on an aircraft carrier.
Because that's more difficult.
It's American, man. It's Independence Day. Why not have a body slam challenge on an aircraft carrier? How much more America can you get?
I don't know. I have no idea. Was there apple pie being served there? That's the only way you could set it up.
Maybe vendors, little apple pies,
we'll
some ice cream there.
I'll go back and look at the tape.
Yeah. So Randy Savage tried, failed. Crush, failed. Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump,
couldn't do it.
Could not do it. Rick Steiner, Bob Backlund, Tatanka, and a bunch of other guys. They just couldn't do it. But Lex Luger comes in, body slams Yokozuna, starts this huge angle. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go wrestle for the title. It's going to be great. He never won it.
Like, literally, he never won it.
No, he did not win the WWE title.
Poor guy.
He had 2 chances, two big chances, and
Vince
sorry,
must
Lex.
something happened with Vince, I'm sure.
There must have been some drama that went down that, because I mean, yeah, he was fast track. He had his own bus.
He had his own bus?
Yeah, he had the Lex Express.
Oh, yeah.
Driving around the country.
Take that, Adam Rose.
Yeah. Kissing hands, shaking babies.
I don't know. Well, that could be a problem, but yes.
Yes.
And in birthdays for this
Happy birthday to you.
Former Straight Edge Society convert, Serena Deeb, turning 29 years old.
We remember Heidenreich, don't we? Wasn't a member of LOD 2000-ish.
Yeah, I remember Heidenreich. I don't know if that's my favorite memory.
43 years old.
Stardust, a.k.a. Cody Rhodes. Don't you call him Cody, turning 30.
Hall of Famer, Mike Tyson, 49 years old.
Yoshitatsu, get well soon, or maybe he's doing better now. I don't know. 38 years old.
Alicia Fox, 29.
Hello. Charles Robinson,
Little Nate,
51 years old.
The Excellence of Execution, Bret the Hitman Hart, 58 years old.
Scotty Too Hottie, 42.
Barry Windham, 55.
Jerry Saggs, 51.
And the grandfather, I would say, of hardcore, Terry Funk, turning a spry 71.
I guess he is the grandfather. So who would be the father of hardcore?
I guess Mick Foley. So
Mick Foley, yeah.
And maybe, what does that make, Tommy Dreamer?
Tommy Dreamer, he seems like the uncle of hardcore, I guess.
Sabu.
Oh gosh, I don't know. He's somewhere down the line.
Yeah. It's a very large tree, that family tree of hardcore.
Interestingly enough, Terry Funk, not the grandfather of funk. That's someone else.
James Brown?
That is James Brown. You are correct. No. And that, sir, is This Week in Wrestling.
And another Compadres in the books for you. We had Ethan Carter III, quite possibly the next TNA World Heavyweight Champion. We had an amazing This Week in Wrestling Championship edition, Dale Rutledge.
Yes, indeed. And Daniel Bryan, it's so crazy to think the road that Daniel Bryan has been on in just a short 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, he went from choking someone out with a tie to being the yes man. Which is amazing.
Therapy in between.
Yeah, and a little bit of that.
Hugging it out.
Shout out to Harold.
Failed marriage. Failed almost marriage with AJ.
Was that an almost marriage?
Yeah, they were at the altar.
I'm
Reverend
sorry.
Slick.
You know what? Every wrestling wedding just gets destroyed. I apologize. Nothing was better than Teddy Long's heart attack, I think. That was an amazing one.
I don't know. One of my personal favorites is still the Billy and Chuck wedding.
Yeah, that's true. The Billy and Chuck wedding was great. All the makeup on Bischoff's face. And he's like, you have about 3 minutes. And then, oh boy, all hell broke loose. Anyways, that's a tangent for us.
Weddings.
All right, well, what a great show. And by the way, just like you said in This Week in Wrestling, Dale, people got to go to our Facebook page.
Yes, indeed. Go to our Facebook page, check it out. Make sure to hit that like button. I hear we just broke 2,200 likes on there. So.
Yeah, we did. 2,200 likes, yo.
So 10,000 is right around the corner.
Yeah, we're so close. So close.
I love your optimism, Dale.
Yeah, incredibly close. Does anyone know how to do Facebook? Help us out. All right, well, let's put ourselves over, I guess. Dale, go right ahead.
You can find me at TheWalkingDale on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me with some delicious movie-based recipes on YouTube.com/dishingonmovies.
Oh, shit.
I do like surprises.
Scotty Narver, go for it.
You can follow me on Twitter at Curtain Jerks, and you can listen to my comedy wrestling podcast, Curtain Jerks, available on iTunes and SoundCloud. This week, we have ODB. Speaking of marriage, I proposed. What happens? You have to listen to find out.
Wow, that's not the first person to propose to ODB.
It is.
It is.
Oh,
she said she'd never been proposed to before, so I laid it down.
I thought EY proposed marriage. No?
And the text message that followed with me and Jess after learning this information was quite funny, too.
My God!
I love it.
Jarrett was there.
He officiated the wedding.
Let's just say there might be room in that trailer park for Scott over here after all.
Whoa. We're down with that.
I am down with that.
Chuck Rice.
You can find me on Twitter at CRice17. You can find me on Instagram at Chuck Rice.
That's right. I am at Jay Quasto, of course, at Wrestling Buds, Facebook.com/Wrestling Buds. Stand-up comedy, go to jlocomedy.com. It's got the whole schedule there. Denver, thank you. It was so much fun. Comedy Works, best comedy club in the country. I loved it. With that said, we got you another great show next week. We don't know who's going to be on, but it's going to be fantastic. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to AfterBuzz TV, to Podcast One, to everybody, and thank you to Ethan Carter III. Just tune in and see what happens. See ya, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen.